All right. What game are we playing today? Oxenfree? Didn't I already review this game 4 years ago? This is weird. Where did this come from?
Robert, can you hear me? Alright, this is going to sound really crazy. But this is you from the future.
What? From the future? That's impossible. This has got to be some kind of joke. What am I, unpunked? I just really dated myself there.
I assure you, this is no joke. There's a reason you are playing Oxenfree again.
I'm bored.
And no, it's not because you're bored. There are two reasons, actually. The first is that this is part of a new segment on your channel that you have to do called Replay, where you're going to replay all the games you reviewed early on in your channel.
Oh, I get it. Because I've learned so much over these past four years, and the quality of my videos have gotten so much better that now I can go back and replay these games and give them the reviews and the attention that they kind of deserve.
Now, the second reason is that, if you remember, about 2, maybe 3 months ago, a sequel to Oxenfree was announced. Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. It's set to come out sometime this year, so I figured it would be fun to play it again.
Okay, that makes sense, but I wonder why I'm contacting myself from the future.
Now, I'm contacting you because...
How you doing, fellow geeks? GamerDad79 here, and today we are going to be taking a look at the adventure game Oxenfree. Now, Oxenfree originally released back in 2016, and in that time it's come to pretty much every single console out there. Even it's come to iOS and Android. Developers Night School Studios has become one of my favorite developers out there, and their other major release, After Party, is also one of my favorite adventure games. So, without further ado, let's check out Oxenfree. In Oxenfree, you take on the role of young teen Alex, who is joining her friends on Edwards Island for what is supposed to be an end-of-high-school senior bash. However, you find out that only a handful of people are coming due to an unfortunate toilet papering incident that happened the previous weekend, grounding most of the high school class. Edwards Island used to be a military base, and the only permanent resident of the island, Maggie Adler, has recently died. Alex's best friend since early childhood, a stoner named Ren, wants to show his friends something he's only heard about from other kids. Using a handheld radio, there are certain parts of the island that can tune into frequencies that are not supposed to be there. Alex's stepbrother Jonas has also come along for the ride, and he notices something deep within the caves where some of the signals are located. Alex follows him, only to be met by a strange occurrence within the cave. Alex uses the radio, and then something strange happens. Now, I don't want to spoil what happens here because the story in Oxenfree is actually one of the best I've ever experienced in video games. It's kind of like a ghost story mixed with some timey-wimey elements.
People assume that time is a strict progression of cause to effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
That will completely twist your mind and make you go, what the heck just happened? Now, I don't normally play games multiple times, but Oxenfree kind of demands that you play the game multiple times to get the best ending. And I don't mean that in the traditional sense where you're trying to unlock the best ending. I'm saying that the game is actually different each time you play it, and each subsequent playthrough will affect the next one. So every time you play the game, some of the decisions that you make will actually change the game the next time you play it. Each playthrough affects the next. It's a really ingenious mechanic. If you somehow haven't figured it out yet, a handheld radio plays into the events of Oxenfree. I really love how this mechanic works, as it does multiple things. On the surface, there are parts of the island that allow you to tune into a certain station on the radio and hear aspects of the island's past. Beyond that, there are several story essential aspects to the radio that I don't want to spoil here in this review because they are best discovered by playing the game. Dialogue feels organic in a way that most other AAA titles strive for. You can interrupt what someone is saying, and they will actually circle back around to the original topic in a way that feels natural and real. You can easily imagine yourself having these kinds of conversations with your friends. Now, I'm also a huge fan of the art style of this game. It's minimalistic, however you can still tell all the characters apart as they each have their own unique style and look. The island itself is beautifully designed and gives off this sense of mystery and fascination. You can't help but marvel at the architecture and wonder about its dark, secret history. Final thoughts. Oxenfree is the perfect example of games as an art form, and it shows just what can be done with the medium that you can't do in others. You can't do this type of stuff in movies and books because you're an active participant. There is one hell of a mystery at the heart of Oxenfree, and it drives you on to play through the game again and again to get the best ending that you can. Normally, once I'm done with the game, I don't go back and play it again, especially right afterwards. However, Oxenfree makes it that you almost have to. The ending of the first playthrough takes you right back to where you started from, making you ask the question, why? Once you do, you're playing it again. It doesn't hurt that it only takes about 4 to 6 hours for each playthrough, depending on if you want to find all the collectibles. So playing about 2 to 3 times will only take you about 18 hours or so, which is not all that long considering. Oxenfree is one of the types of games that I love to play, moreover so than AAA big games. The stories are generally more interesting, they take risks with gameplay, and they don't take you 50 plus hours to complete, which is perfect for gamers like me with busy lives. Oxenfree is one of those games that's going to stick with me forever. The story is gripping, intelligent, and multi-layered. The characters are well-defined and interesting, each one with a distinct personality. You can sympathize with each one of them, and while there is only one main character, each person gets something interesting to do during the course of the story. Oxenfree is available on pretty much every platform you can think of, and for only around $10. And at that price, this game's a steal. It's also currently available on what is hands down the best deal in gaming today, Xbox Games Pass. Phil, I am still waiting for that sponsorship. If you want a game with an amazing, multifaceted story with believable and memorable characters, I highly recommend Oxenfree. Alright fellow geeks, that is it for today's video. Make sure you hit that like, submit, subscribe, all that other good stuff, and check out some of the other videos that should be coming up on your screen right about now if I did things right. Let me know if you've ever played Oxenfree and what you thought about it. So, until next time, I'm GamerDad79. Keep on geeking on.